missing.
Well, the Pacers were running away with the Eastern Conference last year, and I think they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Second half, they struggled at times, made some moves, but ultimately righted the ship and made a deep playoff run. Well, you love what David West brings to the table. Offensively, he can shoot, he can post up, he can muscle you, but he can really help you win, without the ball in his hands, too, by setting hard screens and crashing the offensive boards.
2 shots. And West, just what you think of when you talk about a true veteran, competitive, leadership, toughness.
All of that is David West personified, and he does it without saying a whole lot. When he speaks, it's always right on time and on target, but his example is one that all young players should absorb and benefit from.
Now here is Hill. West inside and stolen by Hibbert. Knocks it loose. Shoots from the right block. No luck. Good work defensively by Stuckey. Pacers leading by 3. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. They get it back. Here's Hill. Soft touch off the glass. Hill's got his first points in this one.
That's some tenacity inside, battling for the second chance points.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. Indiana making some changes. Mahimi's checked in for Hibbert. And it's Luis Scola in for David West. Indiana also making some changes. Mahimi's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for David West. And it's C.J. Miles in for Rodney Stuckey. And Miles kicks to Copeland. Outside Hill. The 19-footer is on the money. Hill's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Looked like he was trying to go for a degree of difficulty points on that shot.
And the official signaled the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
Careless play there. You've got to avoid those kind of turnovers.
Yeah, you really do, Steve. I mean, those really take a toll on you. They deflate any kind of rhythm you're trying to build.
Now Watson. And we finish one half of basketball. Pacers out in front, leading by 7. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Coach Vogel, a tough going for your guys so far tonight. What's been the biggest obstacle to pulling off your game plan?
Well, they're just a great defensive team. You know, we're not handling our pressure well enough. We're trying to work it in.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. Pacers trail by 7, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for Indiana. Down low, West and Hibbert. Rodney Stuckey out there with Hill. And it's George in at the small forward. And here is Hill. Out left to the wing. Hibbert with it. Picked up by Hibbert. Can't hit the turnaround jumper.
The Indiana Pacers last season, for the second year in a row, guys, the best defensive team in basketball, and it wasn't even close.
The dish to West, and David West gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
First team foul.
Full 24-second shot clock. Moves back up, and the officials call a traveling violation.
Well, as a coach, that kind of turnover just drives you nuts.
And that's because it should never happen, Steve. I mean, it just shouldn't.
Pacers leading by 7.
Well, David West, a pro's pro, and a name many might overlook when talking about the best power forwards in the league. But since his arrival in Indy, he's been a big part of what's catapulted that team into the upper echelon. Back-to-back conference finals the last 2 years, and David West is in the middle of their success at both ends of the floor.
And that's going to be a travel.
Yeah, you can't make that kind of an error and expect to win.
You're right, Steve, because they will cost you. I mean, those kind of mistakes, those are losing plays.
Hill kicks to Stuckey. It's back to Hill. Feeds it to Hibbert, and stolen by Hibbert. Hill passes to West. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. And West, not the most explosive leaper. He won't wow you on the highlight reels.
Yeah, and that lack of flash, might cost him some attention. But look, this guy can do it all. I mean, he defends, he can score inside, he can go outside and knock down that shot. I mean, he's a terrific all-around player.
Pull up Jay. George dishes to Stuckey. Good.
Superb assist there. He played the role of the maestro on that one.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Hill with it. He's picked up by Hill and out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
A super defensive play. I mean, if that pass gets through, it's probably 2 points.
And he knew that. He knew if it gets through, it's a score, so that's why he sold out for it and got a hand on it.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for David West. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Watson in for Hill. Stolen by George. And now the fast break. George with the ball. Here's Miles. Here's Scola. And at last they get one to fall. Here is Miles. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Kicks it to Scola. That is good.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded-out physical game.
Yeah, that was your game, Clark. Pound it inside and take the ball right to the defense.
That's what I tried to do, man. I knew my limitations.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Pacers lead by 5. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway. And let's take this chance now to show you the State Farm assist of the game.
Well, with this assist, he shows you just what a well-rounded guard he really is. Kind of a combo guard, even though he's listed as a shooting guard. Really a diverse offensive skill set.
We're almost seeing more of that, aren't we? It's like guys that have point guard skills that can play both those positions.
For sure.
And so in the game for the Pacers, George and Scola, they're the forwards. Watson out there with C.J. Miles, and it's Mahinmi in at the 5 spot. And George kicks to Mahinmi. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel.
Careless play there. You've got to avoid those kind of turnovers.
Yeah, you really do, Steve. I mean, those really take a toll on you. They deflate any kind of rhythm you're trying to build.
Some changes for Indiana. West is checked in for Scola. Stuckey comes in for C.J. Miles. And George Hills subbed in for C.J. Watson. Indiana also making some changes. David West, he's checked in for Scola. Stuckey comes in for C.J. Miles. And George Hills subbed in for C.J. Watson. Hibbert's checked in for Indiana. And a change for the Pacers. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Ian Mahinmi. Free throw drops for David West. Pacers trail by 10. Here's Hibbert. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist.
You can always depend on him to put the pass right on the money.
The Pacers have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Hibbert, the pass to West. He feeds it to George. Fires for 3, and that one's good. And the Pacers lead by 11.
Might as well just take it into his own hands and make that big lead even bigger.
Indiana, they're working against the clock right now. The dive for the ball, and that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession.
So it looks like just playing the last bit of this game out in what should be a nice win here for Indiana.
Steve, I agree. You know, I think the attitude was very impressive. And Clark, you had talked about this before the game. Definitely a competitive game, and they fought through it each step of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. They put a tremendous performance in terms of effort and intensity, and they deserve to win this one.
Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
Boy, they're extending their lead. It kind of feels like they're just piling on here as we come to an end.
Well, hey, let's just call it what it is. They are trying to run it up on them.
And the Pacers call time here. They're losing by 13. There's 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. Some changes for Indiana. There's 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. And stolen by Scola. It's tipped. Stolen by Miles. About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. Here's Scola. Ball's knocked loose. It's stolen by Allen.
Yeah, no way you can come back from this deficit.
Just not enough time left on the clock.
And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. He just basically walked out of bounds.
For Indiana, they've gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. Here's Miles, and he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
Watson. It's off.
And little to no chance of that shot going in.
Yeah, that was a tough one right there.
And that's going to be a travel. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.